name is Dylan Henson, and over the last couple weeks I've gotten the opportunity to interview Richard Meydag, class of 1958. Mr. Meydag was kind enough to answer a few questions that I had about what it was like growing up here at Rogers and his career accomplishments.
When I went to elementary school, I lived just down the street from Will Rogers. In the 40s and 50s, I think life was a little simpler. We didn't have the internet. We didn't have video games, didn't have cell phones, and we didn't even get a TV until I think I was in the 6th or 7th grade, and then there was only one channel. You know, we went out with our friends, rode our bikes, played football in the fall, played baseball in the summer and the spring. And I remember from the time I was 13 till about, 16, 17 years old, I had a paper route. It delivered to Tulsa World. On the weekends, I'd go hunting with my friends. One of the things I do distinctly remember, though, was I had to be home by 5 o'clock every evening. And we ate at 6 o'clock every evening, and between 5 and 6, I started my homework.
How was your experience on the Ropers swim team?
I really enjoyed being on the swimming team. We had a lot of good guys on there. We were actually the first swimming team that Rogers had from the beginning of World War II. And in fact, that first year, I think we won the state championship, and I was part of the individual medley relay, and actually still have the medal from when we won.
When did you figure out that it was the right time and the right move to join the Marines?
Well, when I went to school, I always wanted to be a pilot. My father worked for American Airlines. I wanted to be an airline pilot, probably fly for American Airlines. I didn't have the money to go to take flights training or anything like that. So when I was looking through the catalogs from OSU, there was one course that I did take, aviation technology, and it said it met the prerequisite for Air Force flight training and for Naval Aviation Cadet training. So in my second year of going to school, I remember my roommate came back from the student union and said, "Oh, the Marine Corps recruiters over there, and they got a new flying program." So I went over there, and it was the first year of the Marine Aviation Cadet program, and I signed up.
So during some research that I did, I found out that once your time in Vietnam was over, you actually volunteered to stay for a longer amount of time. What led you to that decision?
I was in Vietnam in early '65. We were all in squadrons, and we'd all gone over there together. So about midway through our tour, that meant all these squadrons were going to go home at the same time, and there would be nobody there. And I volunteered to stay in country for my last 6 months.
Would you recommend the military as a career for people today?
If you didn't know what you wanted to do, there's nothing wrong in joining the military. It gives you discipline. It will help you focus on what you may want to do in the future. It's a personal decision whether you want to make a career out of it.
Richard Meydag earned an associate degree in aviation technology at OSU in 1960. He enlisted in the U.S. Marine Corps, earned his wings as a helicopter pilot, and was commissioned as second lieutenant. He was stationed in Hawaii, then in 1965 was transferred to Marine Helicopter Squadron 163 in Da Nang, Vietnam, where he flew helicopters in support of both Army of the Republic of Vietnam and U.S. Marine Corps operations. When his deployment ended after 6 months, he volunteered to stay in Vietnam and was reassigned to Marine Helicopter Squadron 161 in Hue Phu Bai, still flying support for Marines. He returned to the U.S. for 2 years as a helicopter instructor pilot at the Naval Air Training Command, then returned to Vietnam flying Bell Huey gunships. During his 2 tours in Vietnam, he flew over 1,000 combat missions, often under heavy enemy fire, coordinating various aircraft in rescues and extractions of troops. His awards include the Silver Star, Distinguished Flying Cross, Purple Heart, Legion of Merit, Single Mission Air Medals, and the Air Medal with 52 Strike Flight Awards. After earning a BS degree in industrial technology at the University of Southern Mississippi, he was assigned to the Presidential Helicopter Squadron, transporting President Nixon and other dignitaries. He became commanding officer, Marine Air Base Squadron 36 in Okinawa, Japan. In 1975, he participated in Operation Frequent Wind, the evacuation of Saigon, and flew the second-to-last helicopter out. He returned to Naval Air Training Command as Senior Marine Training Air Wing 5. In 1978, Lieutenant Colonel Meydag was named Commanding Officer for Marine Helicopter Squadron 1 and Presidential Helicopter Pilot for President Jimmy Carter. His final assignment was as Program Manager at Naval Air System Command, responsible for all Sikorsky H-53 helicopters and the introduction of the Super Stallion heavy lift helicopter. After retirement, he joined Sikorsky Aircraft as Director of Overhaul and Repair and General Manager of Commercial Overhaul.